Good, happy Friday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, Supreme Court rules Marriott's records won't be unsealed. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
I lost my younger son at age 25 from a heroin addiction. Our whole family brought us to our knees when we lost him. What I would like my question answered from Maggie Hassan, why are our families and our people sending their loved ones out of this state to get the help they need? She didn't see it. She didn't see the full force of this, the people that we were losing. In my whole heart, she hasn't done her job. And that's how I feel about it.
New Hampshire's highest court ruled to keep the sexual history of murder victim Lizzie Marriott private, reversing its own earlier decision that would have unsealed documents to be used in her killer's appeal.
Today we learned that the Supreme Court decided to reverse itself and to maintain all of Lizzie's sealed information under seal through the duration of the appeal, which is what we had hoped for and asked for from the beginning, so we're very happy with the result.
UNH student Lizzie Marriott was murdered in 2012. Seth Mazelia was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. His attorneys requested information about Marriott's past be released for the appeal. Her family, the Attorney General's office, state leaders, and victims groups argued the state's rape shield law is designed to protect victims from having to reveal their sexual histories.
We believe that it was the right thing for the New Hampshire Supreme Court to stay in line with the other 49 states and protect this victim's rights.
Advocacy groups, not just in New Hampshire, but all across the country, were waiting to see what decision would come down from the Supreme Court in New Hampshire.
Legal analyst Kirsten Wilson says honoring the rape shield law also protects future victims.
I think that's why there was such outcry around the nation, because it would have set back victims' rights and really set a precedent that would terrify victims from coming forward.
The Attorney General's office says it has no comment about the High Court's ruling and no reaction yet from Seth Mazelia's attorney. In Concord, Jean Mackin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Trump denies violating Cuban embargo. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Well, why would I say this? Yeah, I don't feel comfortable saying that.
Will you show the card to the camera?
Of course, Donald Trump also has his own history and past to deal with, including a recent issue came out today, a report that said that he violated the U.S. embargo with Cuba in the late 1990s, accusing the businessman of trying to conduct business in the communist country without the permission of the U.S. government. We asked him about that with our one-on-one. How do you respond to a report that's out today that says back in the late 90s you violated the embargo doing business with Cuba?
I never went to Cuba. I've never been in Cuba. I never did business with Cuba.
Leave it at that?
Well, there's nothing else to say. I never did business in Cuba. I would tell you very openly if I did. I was not involved in doing business in Cuba.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Arrest made after mystery envelope sent to Merrimack homes. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
25 from a heroin addiction. Our whole family brought us to our knees when we lost him. What I would like my question answered from Maggie Hassan, why are our families and our people sending their loved ones out of this state to get the help they need? She didn't see it. She didn't see the full force of this, the people that we were losing. In my whole heart, she hasn't done her job, and that's how I feel about it.
woman in Merrimack told police that last week an envelope showed up at her home, but it wasn't her name written on it.
That Friday afternoon, there were two black males at her front door demanding her mail.
She refused to give them anything, and they went away. But when another envelope was delivered 4 days later and someone showed up at the door again, she called police.
She was frantic on the phone, said there was a black male, started ringing the doorbell to the front of the home. That progressed into him pounding on the door, demanding his mail be turned over to him. He actually barged his way into the home and grabbed the packages. She was on the phone with police dispatch at that time.
Police arrested 21-year-old Charles Washington of Walden, New York. He's charged with burglary and receiving stolen property and is being held on $25,000 bail. Police believe Washington is part of an elaborate scheme.
This appears to be a larger enterprise of individuals who are taking personal information, applying for credit cards through various banking institutions.
Police say Washington was found with a credit card with a $17,000 limit obtained under the identity of a man in California.
They'll buy gift cards in the amount of $5,000 and $6,000. And so therefore the gift card that they're buying has a legitimate value. It's a legitimate card. And then they're selling these cards off. They're using the cards. They're buying actual product.
Now, police say it appears the envelopes were delivered to random addresses, and it's likely there are homeowners that don't even know that their home was used as a docking port for those stolen credit cards. Live in the studio, Suzanne Rowntree, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Hoboken crash reignites debate over positive train control. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Once the PTC actually takes control, is that like an autopilot on a commercial airliner?
Correct. What it does is it nullifies all the controls. The computer takes control. Now, what's interesting is the dispatcher gets a banner on his computer screen that says this train has had an enforcement braking application.
So if a train goes into this penalty application that the PTC actually takes control, that's automatically a bad thing.
Correct.
When this happens.
Now you've got an overspeed. So as you see, it's telling you the train is an overspeed. You're seeing the brakes are coming on.
Without us touching it, it started to brake.
Correct. Your power is back at zero. So the train itself is protecting you because it sees that in less than a mile or less than 2 miles, you have a different stop target.
Is there anything that the train engineer can do to
Nothing.
override this?
Nothing.
And this is just like a real train. This is what it feels like. This is what it would look like.
This is how it would accelerate.
And again, to come to a dead stop from 68, 70 miles an hour would be over a mile of track.
Correct.
Wow.
So your warning distance tells you that if you don't do anything in 22 seconds, the train will stop itself. It tells you your speed is restricted to 40 miles per hour
So I'm
in
going
1.7 miles.
So like the train in Philadelphia, this is going twice the speed limit.
Too fast.
Why would someone take a train over the speed limit?
There could be many reasons. There could be a medical crisis. If the engineer, say, had for whatever reason, had a health scare and was incapacitated, this is where the system comes in and would take control of the train.
Is there a downside to taking humans out of this equation?
Yeah, you always need a set of eyes. You've got 1,000 tons of equipment. You've got 3,600 horsepower, and you've got thousands of people on the train. And the computer's a great overlay, but it doesn't do everything.
And that's tremendous responsibility.
Correct.
Okay, there you go on that report. The train crash in New Jersey that left one woman dead and 114 others injured has reignited the debate over positive train control, an automatic braking system that deploys when trains run above the speed limit, among other scenarios. no Lee Hammond moment why Duchess's Bank is not dragging up the ghosts of 2008. The International Monetary Fund might see Duchess Bank as the moment most important net contributing to systematic risk in the global banking system, but many experts and analysts in the industry are playing down comparisons with the dramatic collapse of Lehman Brothers 8 years ago. Why Gary Johnson still in the race. Gary Johnson is the new punching bag of 2016 campaign. The Libertarian presidential candidate is the subject of intensifying ridicule following his latest televised flub when he couldn't name a world leader he admired during a Wednesday interview with MSNBC Chris Matthews. That follows another embarrassing on-air moment last month when, in response to a question about how he would alternative the pilgrimage of the being Syrian city of Apollo, he responded, "What is Apollo?" And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday. We'll see you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.